Things really are not okay on the market. Don't beg 30% of you that have not smashed the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button. Well, make sure you guys do so you don't miss out on more awesome content. We need to talk about Caro over here, as prices for this have actually exceeded a lot of expectations. These have been floating at $40 to $50 at this point in time, and a lot of people are like, well, you know, they were $35, you know, maintaining after the kickback. I'm not really all that surprised, but the problem with this is they have been going up even more over the course of the weekend here. I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention here that, you know, we have a hand trap that has no estimated reprint anytime soon, except for maybe a throw in the tins. But your problem is the ceiling is continuing to escalate for this, as more and more people are looking to this card as an option tree to clean up very futuristic problems. Now, whether or not that continues to be a mainstay going forward here, it is definitely a big issue that these have gone up as far as they have. Now, on the flip side of things here, don't get me wrong, I mean, like, the Starlight hasn't hardly moved. So if you were to go after, like, the Starlights to have, at least for a nicer collection piece, they are maintaining a decent course. And I mean, we'll go more in depth with this over time, because I assume that once Kashtira quite possibly, you know, falls out of the format just a wee little bit here, we might see a little bit of a shift in power away from Caro. But now that this card exists, now that the format has had an experience with this, you've introduced a hand trap into the format that players want to make sure that they can actually have. Now, I mean, they can obviously print this as an ultimate rare later on, but because it does exist as Starlight Rare, because it has current format application and the possibility of a shift here, $45 to $50. I mean, seeing that uphill climb is, I've seen a lot of people actually complaining about this. So once again, what can you do? It's the cost of playing modern era format. Now, let's talk about Ballista here. If you've lived underneath a rock, or you forgot that Dual Overload existed, Ancient Gear Ballista has been one of the cards that Earth Machine has loved. They love everything about this card because it searched for the little gearbox, and the gearbox gives you an additional search out of the deck. That was essentially what it was used for. Also, it's 2 Earth Machine monsters to make it, but you know, so many people tossed this in the bulk pile when it first existed. And then people were like, well, you know, I kind of got to dig this out because Earth Machine's starting to do something. The lowest listings right now on this, as of filming this video, are $20+ at this point in time. You have an Ultra from Dual Overload that is pulling Helki Fibrax level vibes right now because people want to play Super Heavy Samurai. Well, why is this reaching these crazy pinnacles of value here? It's because people want the chance to play the deck. The rest of Super Heavy Samurai, massively cheap. Let's call it what it is here. You know, most of the rares, I mean, you're spending, what, maybe $10 a piece on them, but players do love the fact, like, ooh, you know, like, Super Heavy Samurai is a little bit more affordable, you know, in terms of budgetary options, I can do this. And then, you know, as more and more people hype on the rare train here, well, guess what? More and more people want to have Ancient Gear Mr. Friend here so that they can play the version of the deck that allows them to combo. It is by far the hypest deck right now in the course of the game. And since you're seeing, you know, the reflection of this value, you know, on the upward track here, it's actually kind of sad to see. It's almost making people want to go buy Dual Overload again. I've already had 3 people go, wow, you know, maybe I could go try to pull 2 of these out of Dual Overload. I'm sitting here, I'm like, that's a crazy thought that that's the first thing that goes through your head, is like, yeah, we can go try to plus off of this. Alas, whatever. Next up is the whole Chaos Angel thing. Now, for those of you that have checked out all Gamer's Choice, you've checked out, you know, TCG Player, Tier 0, by the way, MCOL40 works on those websites as a discount code, except for TCG Player, but that's why there's an affiliate link down below for that. So what's been going on with Chaos Angel? If you paid attention, you might have noticed that some places it's disappearing in quantities. Other places still have it for $50. TCG Player has a very low quantity of these at the, I think it was 9 listings at $57. Gamer's Choice has them at $50. You can use discount code MCOL40 and it'll be cheaper over there, but people don't seem to know that. But why is Chaos Angel going so terminal right now? Well, when you look at the rest of SIAC, it has turned into like the best card in the set right now. so many people are, well, I mean, highest rarity card, we'll say. But people looking at Chaos Angel like, wow, you know, like, this is the Baron of the set. Yeah, I actually read that as a quote. Somebody called this the modern-day Baron before, but I mean, that was paywalled behind a much worse set. And, I mean, all real things considered. Yeah, but I mean, like, when you have an incredibly generic power card like this, that about 90% of the meta can just slap on into their deck, and they're like, oh, cool, like, I can make this now. Like, I can achieve modern era success with this, you know, crazy card. Yeah. That's why people want it. That's why you're looking at one of the most generic cards here. And I mean, if we're seeing these quantities continue to dwindle on the very early side of things, impatience is not a good thing for the Yu-Gi-Oh community. People are losing their minds over this, and it's a wild thing to say. Just be patient till the weekend here, and then we can see how, you know, things will be reflective on our side of the game on how Chaos Angel will hold up overall. But just seeing that people are like, oh my god, like, I need this now on pre-order. I mean, be patient. If not, $50 I thought was pretty good. I need to talk about Time Tearing Morganite here as well. So when I went to Sneak Peek, Time Tearing Morganite was literally near impossible to get from people because people want this card. And it's literally Ledger of the Ledgerman double summon. And you're probably like, well, yeah, that's it. But it's a budget card. That's why people are excited for this. I understand that a lot of people look at this card and they're like, this card is absolute garbage. Why do people want it? Cheap, good draw power. People underestimate the power of budget players out here. I actually think Time Tearing Morganite's probably going to be one of the best-selling cards in the set, whether or not it sees success or not, because it is just one of those cards that opens up, you know, the door to such interesting plays out here. And going forward, I think because of that, budget players, one, are going to be very excited to get this. Control players, stun players, are going to also get this. And also the fact that you have, I mean, Floundries players are kind of talking about this as well. I don't think across the board that it's terribly that crazy, but once again, if more and more players are kind of looking around at this going, you know, I kind of want to have Time Tearing Morganites. Yeah, if this was the most asked for card in a room of 30 plus people, just going, hey, you got Time Tearing Morganites? Hey, you got Time Tearing Morganites? I want to play this in my True Draco deck. I mean, that's fine. It is what it is. But if people are really expecting this to be a $3 to $4 card, that's where I kind of go, On pre-order, it was selling for, I think most copies sold out at dollars. But I think over time, you might see maybe $2 if somebody was able to break this card. But all real things considered, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think at most, people just need to calm down here, and we'll be patient overall for this. So, this hurts my head. The rest is Syac. Syac brings Super Heavy Samurai to the table. We all know this. In terms of the market and everything, I'd probably pick up Super Heavy Samurai stuff if I was planning on playing it sooner than later. Whether or not something happens to Cyberstein, whether or not, you know, these key cards do stick around, will be left to be seen. But it is definitely a very, very strong deck. It has a lot of aggression built into it. A lot of people don't know where to choke it out. The pendulum scales are by far insane at the end of the day for what they bring to the table. The overall deck itself feels very, very good. And the set feels very strong. Fallen of Albaz, lore stuff in there. I mean, most of your cards are only going to need one-ofs for that. So even if they're going to be secret, they're not going to break the bank. Like, that's what I like right now in terms of the set is value, value, value. Alright, it all looks very good, and I think as we kind of unfold here, heading on into next weekend here, you know, coming off a Sneak Peek weekend, there's a lot of adrenaline, a lot of crazy hype right now. A lot of people like, I need it now! Just be patient with where things are. It's very interesting. I mean, there are always going to be some affordable pre-sales, there are going to be some that are, you know, a little bit over the place, but use the discount codes where they are if you want something, if you think that something's going to go up over time. I mean, sometimes you'll get rewarded, sometimes you won't. That is honestly how it is. So that is where we're sitting. Curry cards and ballistas are ridiculous. Please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.